This podcast is sponsored by Great White Hot Sauce. It's a small batch, handmade hot sauce made specially for you. So if you like hot sauce,
oh, there you go. Let's get rid of that. See, this is the beauty of live streaming. This will be edited tomorrow. So we're going to act like we just got our intro. So I will say, thank you, Amanda, for that wonderful introduction. You know the name of the show, so I'm not going to say it. I'm flying solo tonight. Yeah, so we're live streaming right now over Facebook and YouTube. If you want to find us on YouTube, it's the Milk Crates and Turntables channel. And of course, you're listening to us. You're listening on a podcast platform or on many podcast platforms. If you would like to get in touch with the show, give us a call or email. Give us a call. We do have a phone number, but send us an email, milkcratesandturntables@gmail.com. That way you can suggest, criticize, yell, ask for recipes, anything you want to do. So, without further ado, let me not bring on my co-host, Mr. Jack Calabrese. Yeah, Jack is AWOL. Well, he's not really, but he's somewhere. I think he's in Texas. He went to Texas for his birthday. So, well, on a business trip. Just happened to be his birthday the other day. Not that anybody cares. It's Jack. So, so now that Jack's not here, I am going to do one of my favorite topics in music. Did you knows? Yes. You know, they're always informative. It's just some light stuff. You know, we do deep dives every once in a while. We got the people already. The chat is moving. Anyways, I might have to remove that. It might become a distraction during the show for the live streamers. Yeah. Anyways, so I like doing the Did You Knows. Like I said, it's light. We do some deep dives most of the time. And every once in a while, I just want to break it up a little bit. All right, you know what? I'm going to drink some water. Hold on. There we go. So without further ado, this first one was sent to me by a listener of the show who had advance notice in reference to this first Did You Know? Did you know that Jack has failed to appear 4 times in the last 6 months on this podcast? Yep. He thinks no one's paying attention. Oh, he's wrong. 4 times in the last 6 months, this guy is a no-show. It's just a Did You Know? That's all it is. Do with it what you want. Take it for what it is. Yeah. So, moving on. Did you know? And I love this. This has an allegedly in it, which always means it happened. That Freddie Mercury allegedly snuck Princess Diana into a gay club back in the 80s by dressing her up in an army jacket and sunglasses. I could see that. I could see that. She was pretty cool. She could hang with anybody. Yeah. You know, put some sunglasses on her and an army coat, and she looks, you know, she could be a cross-dresser. No one's going to know. No one's paying attention. All right. Did you know? Before starting the band Kiss, Gene Simmons was a 6th grade teacher. How cool would that have been? How cool would that have been? Gene Simmons was my 6th grade teacher. I mean, you got to think that was a pretty laid-back class, right? So, did you know? On a drug and alcohol-fueled tour in 1984, Ozzy Osbourne used a straw to snort a line of ants off the ground in an effort to gross out his tour mates. Motley Crue. Now, advantage Ozzy. I mean, those guys lived the wild life. No doubt, legendary. But they ain't Ozzy. That's not happening. Let's see. Did you know? I won't say it like that all show, but every once in a while. The first time the Beatles smoked weed was with Bob Dylan. They met up at a hotel and Dylan offered them some weed. Dylan assumed they had smoked it before because he misheard their I Can't Hide lyric from I Want to Hold Your Hand as I Get High. Must have been high when he was listening. Yeah. Did you know? Son of a preacher man singer, Dusty Springfield, used to spend hundreds of dollars on cheap china, then blow off steam by breaking them all. That's a pretty good idea. I mean, come on. What was the song David Bowie sang? I love the sound of breaking glass. It's blowing off some steam right there. That's second probably to popping off some rounds. Yeah. Ah, this is a good one. Did you know Stevie Nicks was offered the opportunity to write the lyrics for Purple Rain, but turned Prince down? Yikes. But then, you know what? Maybe it wouldn't have been the song we know today. It definitely wouldn't have been. Maybe it wouldn't have been a mega hit like it was. Things happen for a reason, right? Let's see. Did you know? As an 8-year-old boy, Guns N' Roses lead guitarist Slash walked in on his mother and, of all people, David Bowie naked in bed. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Oh, it's might as well be in bed with a skeleton. I don't know. Dude was not the most manly looking man, but hey, he was David Bowie. Right? Did you know Elvis was actually a natural blonde? He dyed his hair jet black with shoe polish initially, and then later with Clairol hair dye. Didn't everybody use Clairol back then? Right? Wasn't that the go-to for women? I know that. My mom. All right. Let's see. Okay, did you know that Keith Moon, I think we all know, this might be a little more now you know the rest of the story type thing. So Keith Moon, he washed down some horse tranquilizers with brandy before a show at the Cow Palace in, I believe that was Oakland, California. Then as the show went on, he drummed slower and slower until he passed out while playing Won't Get Fooled Again. Now, most people that know the story know that Pete Townsend then asked the audience, is there anybody out there that can play the drums? Well, here's the rest of the story. A kid named Scott Halpin, he was a 19-year-old from Muscatine, Iowa, who had just graduated from high school and moved west out to California. To Monterey. So he went from Monterey to the Cow Palace outside San Francisco to see The Who with a friend. They waited in line for like 13 hours because that's what you did back then, right? But they couldn't get tickets. The show was sold out. So they bought scalped tickets. They went inside. So I can relate to this part. Scott and his buddy made their way up front to be close to the stage. I probably did that at a minimum 75% of the concerts I went to. So I can relate to that. But it was really crowded up there. That Scott didn't like the crowds. I did. So there's a difference. So they decided to move to the side of the stage. A very fateful choice. Little did he know what was coming after that. So after Townsend announces, can anybody play the drums? Can anybody out there play the drums? Halpin's friend noticed that Keith Moon looked like he was going to pass out again. So, he thought that Townsend was just kidding, but then he saw Keith Moon. He started pointing at his friend and yelling, he can play, he can play. So this catches the attention of Bill Graham, The Who's promoter. He was standing nearby. He grabs the kid and brings him up on stage, just like that. So the kid was terrified. No doubt about it. No doubt about this. He later confessed that he had to hit the drums with the fat end of the stick because he wasn't making any noise, any sound on that huge drum kit with the thin end of the stick. It's pretty interesting. He played 2 Howlin' Wolf covers, Smokestack Lightning and Spoonful. And his time as the band's drummer ended with the Who original song, Naked Eye. After that song, he gets out from behind the drums, takes a bow with the band, and for his performance, they gave him a tour jacket, which got stolen. You can't leave shit hanging around backstage. Just can't. No. Anyways, although he only played for 30 minutes, the kid was wiped out. He was exhausted, which he went on to say he gives Keith Moon and most professional drummers a lot of credit, because that is you got to be 100 miles an hour to be a drummer. No breaks. So there you go. That's the rest of the story. Pretty cool. I had a pretty good concert experience. A lot of people know. I jumped up on stage with U2 and had Bono on my shoulders singing I Will Follow in front of sold out Worcester Centrum. And I put him down. He helps me up, walks me to the front of the stage. The Edge gives me a little thumbs up. And I stand at the edge of the stage. And the only thing I could think of is Rocky. So I did my best Rocky imitation as he reaches the top of the stairs and they get the spotlight on me and I jump back into the audience like nothing happened. No security bothered me, nothing. Now that was a great experience. That was far and away heads above a lot of other people's concert experiences. Like Jack getting punked by Chuck Berry. Pushed him out of the way. Anyways, I love that story. But when you get to play an instrument with the band, that's another level. That is an entirely different level of just, you are in a very, very small minority of concert goers that get to do that. So that's the story there. Let's see, what else do we have here? All right. Back to the Did You Knows. Did you know that Jefferson Airplane's lead singer, Grace Slick, after being invited to the White House, went there with some acid, not battery acid, like tripping at, like blotter acid. She went there with some acid, and she had a plan to dose President Nixon. How fucking crazy would that have been? President Nixon on acid. Yikes. A lot of you might be a little young to know about Richard Nixon, but he was a very paranoid man. He's a very paranoid man. Hence Watergate and a lot of other tape recording that he did. So if he was on acid, hide that nuclear suitcase, buddy. Let's see. This is a good one. After the breakup of the British rock band The Zombies, who scored a big hit with Time of the Season, you know, what's your name, who's your daddy? One of the greatest lines in rock history, in music history. That's one of the greatest lines in music history. So, after they broke up, though, a promotion company in America hired some kids from Texas to go on tour as the Zombies, claiming they were still together. And it worked. Until the actual Zombies found out and served the fake Zombies with a cease and desist order. It's kind of like you got the walkers versus the runners. You know? The walk, get it? Get it? You know, everybody hates the runners when it comes to zombies. Nobody likes the runners. Nobody. But the thing with the runners is you just have to be faster than the guy next to you. That's it. And you're good. So the fake Zombies were served with a cease and desist order. But a few of the fake Zombies stayed together and became ZZ Top. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Okay, all right, listen. I'm got to do a little sidebar here. The comments are coming in on the live stream. Someone wants to know, where's Jack? First of all, I don't care. I don't care where Jack is. It's a nice break. Okay. But anyways, now Jack, I said earlier in the podcast, Jackson, Texas, on business. He's a highfalutin guy. But somebody replied, Scott could no longer afford him. See, you got the Jack fans and you got the Scotty fans, right? Yeah. Which side are you on? I kind of like my side. So anyways, that's Jack. I said he's probably drunk in some alley with a bottle of Mad Dog 2020 and a smoke bouncing from wall to wall. At least that's what I would like to think he's doing. He's not. Let's see. So I think a lot of you might know that Richie Havens, his most famous song is Freedom at Woodstock. And a lot of people don't know, well, maybe they do. That whole song was improvised. Yeah. Watch the video. It's a very cool video. And you'll notice in the video that he's drenched. Like he's just drenched. Well, what led up to that? See, he opened Woodstock. So, you know, it's a big deal. But the problem was the other acts that were supposed to be there were all stuck in traffic. Delays getting them there one way or another. So, Richie Havens played for that crowd for almost 3 hours. Fuck me. 3 hours. No wonder the dude was soaked. And that wasn't the rain part of it either. He was called back for several encores. He had them just railing out there. And eventually, it's like anything, he ran out of tunes. So what does he do? He improvises. And the song, Freedom, is based on an old spiritual song called Motherless Child. That's why you'll see that when you see freedom in parentheses, sometimes it says motherless child. So there you go. Now you know the rest of the story. All right, let's see. Did you know the Beatles, well, Paul McCartney, he wrote Yesterday, right? We all know that. The most covered song in music history. We all know that. But he wrote it, like a lot of these guys, he wrote it like in his sleep. Like Keith Richards recorded the riff to Satisfaction in a drunken haze and then passed out. So he woke up one day with that melody in his head, went to the piano, found the chords, and he played it for everyone he came across for months to make sure that it wasn't somebody else's song that he was just remembering. No one ever heard it before. And well, he had indeed written rock's most timeless song. Yeah, in his sleep. Oh, one of the most timeless songs. In his sleep. Well, when you got the talent like him, you can do those things. Let's see. There we go. What's love got to do with it? Did you know that Tina Turner initially said she didn't like it? She thought it sounded very popish. Well, there you go. Another one. That's like, let me see, Chrissie Hynde in The Pretenders. She hated the song Brass in Pocket. She did not like that song. She didn't understand what Detroit Lean was. Yeah, she just didn't like it. She's like, well, what do you know? That becomes their biggest hit right away. That's their breakout hit, right? Let's see. Did you know Wonderwall by Oasis was originally called Wishing Stone? Noel Gallagher wrote the track, but gave it to his brother to sing. And it shares a name. Wonderwall actually shares a name with the psychedelic film that is a soundtrack from George Harrison of the Beatles. A lot of their early stuff was based on or around the Beatles. The Beatles were their number one influence, as they should be. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Did you know Dolly Parton once entered a drag queen celebrity impersonator contest as herself and lost? That's not good. She lost. How does that happen? Maybe because she wasn't an impersonator? I don't know. I don't know the rules to those things. If you do, email me. Let me know how that happens. milkcratesandturntables@gmail.com. Let's see. Oh, Dolly Parton again. She wrote her legendary songs, Jolene and I Will Always Love You, in the same day. What the hell? She did those two in the same day. Why she's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is beyond me. But Jay-Z is. Okay. I like Jay-Z. I ain't no problem with him. But Dolly needs the respect. She needs to be in there. Yeah, this is interesting. Did you know Kurt Cobain wrote the 1993 Nirvana hit Heart-Shaped Box about his wife Courtney Love's vagina? I'm not gonna say anything. I'm trying hard. I'm not gonna say a word. Nope. I'm leaving it alone. All right. Moving on. Did you know? Before joining Queen, Brian May studied astrophysics. He later completed his doctoral thesis and earned his PhD. Yeah. Dr. Brian May. See, doctors are PhDs, right? That's what you call a doctor. Medical doctor, a whole different thing. Most medical doctors don't have PhDs. It's harder to get a PhD. That's the top rung of the educational world. It's that PhD. And most doctors just get they go to med school, right? So, anyways, this isn't a WebMD podcast, which, by the way, that is, WebMD might be the worst thing that ever happened to the internet. I'm telling you, you go on that thing, you got a bump on your finger. By the time you're done going down the WebMD rabbit hole, you got brain cancer. That's all that is. WebMD is one big rabbit hole that people can't stop. Once they're in it, they just keep going down, down, down. Roger Taylor of Queen actually locked himself in a cupboard, like a, what do you call it? Like a pantry. Until the rest of the group agreed to have his song on the B-side of A Night at the Opera. And what did that get him? Look at that. See? My buddy Bob McGrath says, my son is getting both his MD and PhD. That is an accomplishment. My hat is off to him, that young man. That is some seriously academic rigor. That's some serious stuff right there. That's he's buried in a book 24/7. Good for him, man. Good, congratulations. Let's see. Did you know David Bowie's diet during the mid-70s consisted of only red peppers, milk, and cocaine? What the fuck? Look, I readily admitted that I dip my bologna sandwich in a glass of milk, and I readily admit that. Okay. It's good. It's good. Especially when it's got mayo on it. But anyways, red peppers and milk, where the hell is that combination coming? Is it like red pepper cereal? Then you snort some lines? Hey, Dave, we're going out to get something to eat. Can I bring you back anything? Yeah. Oh, man. No wonder he was the thin, white Duke. Let's see. All right. Did you know? Before renaming himself Bob Dylan, Robert Allen Zimmerman went by the name Elston Gunn. Yeah, Bob Dylan's much better. It was Elston Gunn. What? Like what? Yeah. Good call with the Bob Dylan. Did the right thing. And I'm not a Bob Dylan fan. No. I like a couple of his songs. But for the most part, nah. I don't get it. I don't like Bob Dylan. I don't like the Grateful Dead. I don't like Santana. Santana. Nah. No. Can't stand Jethro Tull. Oof. Oof. Fucking. It's like what do you call that? A minstrel show on stage. How do people go see a guy in fucking tights playing a flute? Fucking kidding me? Like, what is that? Who? And you see him in these videos. He's leaping around and he's got the fucking crazy eyes and the long eyes. Like, what? Who liked that shit? I never understood that. Okay. He's got aqua lung. They got a couple. That guy Jethro's got a couple of good songs. The guy Jethro. Yeah. Perry Dinovich, friend of the show. Exactly. Fucker standing on one foot playing the flute. What the fuck? Yeah, that's rock and roll. There you go. Fucking flute guy on one foot. Like, and he takes it and he puts the other foot on like the inside of his knee. Like a, you know what I mean? Yeah. He stands there like playing the flute. Fuck. And people like this shit. Like people, like my buddies are like, I have those albums. I give that shit away. I give it away. Hey, you want a Jethro Tull album? Take it. Same with Santana. I had some Santana albums. Couldn't give them away fast enough. Whatever you know what my favorite Santana song is? Came out in the 90s. Right? He started doing compilations with that piece of shit song with Rob Thomas. Yeah. Matchbox 20. That's another group. Up there with Green Day. Anyways, my favorite Santana song is with Michelle Branch. That's a good song. It's called The Game of Love. Yeah. It's because she's a good singer. And it's got a good riff, and he plays some good guitar in there. But after that, nah. If someone gave me a ticket to go see Carlos Santana, I'd scalp it. No interest. Oh, he's a legend. You go see a legend. No, I won't. It's okay. That's a legend I can live without. Oh, look, my buddy Dave Phillips, the king of the 45s, he just messaged in. Bob, did you know Bob Dylan and Kevin McHale of Boston Celtics fame are from the same town, Hibbing, Minnesota? Okay. That was a time filler. Okay. Yeah. Any more, Dave? Anything else? Just type it in. Send it in. Where was I? This is a good one. Did you know Fleetwood Mac founding member Jeremy Spencer abruptly left the group to join the Children of God cult? Yeah, fucking idiot. Although I gotta say, before 1976, Fleetwood Mac sucked. They sucked. Me and Jack go around on this. They sucked before 76. Shitty albums. Shitty music. Oh, Bob Welch played with them. Yeah, Bob Welch was... The album French Kiss was okay. That was a good album. Had a couple of big 70s hits in it that are still kind of iconic 70s songs. Was it Ebony Eyes? And what's the other one? I can't think off the top of my head. But yeah, but Bob Welch was better on his own than this guy. This guy probably saw the writing on the wall. Maybe Jeremy Spencer did the right thing. This fucking band is shit. I'm leaving. But then here comes Lindsay and Stevie, and well, the rest is history, right? Let's see. This is a good one. Did you know that when Prince, the late, great Prince, was a kid, his dad put him on stage with James Brown, and he danced with them until security took him away? How fucking cool is that? I mean, I had Bono on my shoulders. Did I tell you that already? But this dude danced with James Brown. I don't think I beat that. I don't think I beat that. I don't think so. Prince could dance. Prince was an underrated dancer, and until later on in his career, very underestimated guitar player. I still say one of the greatest solos you'll ever see is Prince playing with Tom Petty and a couple other guys at I think it was a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame show, and George Harrison got inducted, and they played While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and watch the video. George Harrison's son is playing with him. Looks just like him. But Prince just absolutely owns it with, like, the guy, he didn't think he was second to anybody. You could just see it. His the way he carried himself. The dude was good at everything. Everything he did. Still, one of the funniest stories ever told was the Charlie Murphy True Hollywood Story on the Dave Chappelle show, when the pancake story. Prince blouses versus shirts. I know everybody's seen it, but you can't see it enough. Between that, I don't know what's funnier, that one or the Rick James one. Charlie Murphy, True Hollywood. So that dude was funnier than his brother Eddie. It's too bad he's gone, because that dude was he was money every single time. That dude was money. So let me see. My old friend, Michael DiBiase. Loved that guy. Always was a good guy. Still is a good guy. He just commented in, his purpleness was one of the best rockers. True that. Not even Rick James. No. When Prince started out, there was some sort of controversy between him and Rick James. I think he was trying to call out Rick James to get some attention. Well, it worked. And, look where they ended up. Let's see. Did you know the Beatles' White Album was originally titled A Doll's House? They had cover art for it and everything. Good call. White Album. It's like Bob Dylan. Good call with calling yourself Bob Dylan. Let me see. Okay, this is a good one. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. The name. Did you know the name? Or this is just kind of a factoid. Let me drink some water before this. It's the beauty of podcasting. Live streaming. I can do what I want. It's my show. I just bring Jack along. Trust that. I love Jack. Sometimes. Here we go. The name Creedence Clearwater Revival means nothing as a phrase, right? Most rock bands, most music bands, the name doesn't really. Although I have to say the 80s produced some of the best rock names ever. A couple of my favorites. Psychedelic Furs. What else? Echo and the Bunnymen. Romeo Void. It's just some fucking good names, right? The Violent Femmes. So, none of them mean anything, right? Just like Creedence Clearwater Revival means nothing as a phrase, but when they break it down, the word Creedence refers to someone named Creedence Newball. Yeah. Someone named Creedence Newball, who was a friend of Tom Fogerty. Imagine going through life with that name. Creedence Newball? That's right up there with Leonard Skinner, right? So, we got that. So we got the Creedence part of it. Clearwater came from a TV commercial for Olympia Beer. Yeah, I'll have to look that commercial up. And Revival was a nod to the fact that the band returned in 1967 after a 3-year hiatus due to military commitments. Yeah, I think they were in the National Guard, probably. They almost settled for the name. Another great call. This is like dodging a bullet night with the names. Creedence Clearwater Revival almost called themselves, Jesus Christ, Creedence Newball and the Ruby. What the fuck? I just can't see that. I can't see it. First you got Bob Dylan, who wanted to call himself fucking like Efren Gunn or some shit like that. And then, fucking Creedence Newball and the Ruby. But fate had it. They stuck with Creedence Clearwater Revival. A few years, probably 10 years back. It has to be, what are we in? 2022. So this is probably, that was 2012, 2011, 2010. Probably 2010. I got tickets to see Creedence Clearwater Revisited. All right? They were fucking good. It's the original band, pretty much, without the Fogerty brothers, right? And you can't tell me, if you listened, that they weren't. They gotta be in the top 3 greatest, like, bands, like backup to the lead singer type bands. Their rhythm and their pace was fucking unbelievable. And when I saw them, they had the lead singer, I forget his name, but he sounded like John Fogerty. And it's a fucking hell of a show. Hell of a show. And those guys were in good shape. Yeah, they weren't these old fat guys. They were, they tore it up. So I don't know if they're still around, but Creedence Clearwater Revisited. There was this big legal battle over the name. I won't get into it. Google it. Did you know Respect by Aretha Franklin is actually a cover of an Otis Redding song? I think I've said this before. She rewrote the lyrics because the song originally had a misogynistic tone. She was ahead of her time. Now it's one of the most famous female anthems of all time. Yeah, here we go. Here's a Carlos Santana. Did you know Carlos Santana was so high on LSD during his performance at Woodstock in '69, he thought his guitar neck was a snake. Now, that's pretty funny. So imagine if he thought his guitar neck was a snake. Imagine if Grace Slick got away with dropping a hit of acid into Nixon's water. What the fuck would have went through that lunatic's mind? Holy fuck. Yeah. I think we all know this. Did you know Jimi Hendrix taught himself how to play the guitar and never learned how to read music? There's a lot of people like that. B.B. King, you can go way back to guys that play the guitar but don't know how to read music. I got a Barbra Streisand thing here, but I don't care about Barbra Streisand. Let's see. Okay. Let's do a quick famous people in music videos. Did you know Keanu Reeves was in Paula Abdul's video Rush Rush? Yeah, young Keanu Reeves. Did you know that Angelina Jolie was in Meatloaf's video Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through? Yeah. Did you know that Matt LeBlanc was in Tom Petty's video Into the Great Wide Open, along with Johnny Depp? Matt LeBlanc, I don't know, Friends. I don't think I've watched. I think the most I ever watched of Friends was like the first 3 minutes of an episode, like to see what's the big deal here. Like, what are they? You know. And I watched the first 3 minutes of one episode, and this is so fucking dumbed down with the canned laughter and it's just a horror. That's like, I don't know. If I had a choice between seeing Jethro Tull in concert or watching a Friends marathon, I'd have to ask for a third option: suicide. Just fucking leave the room for a minute. Keep my belt with me. I got some shoestrings. Come back in 7 minutes. Telling you. People like, you never watch Friends? It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, it's not. It's dumbed down humor. Now, you want to watch something funny? Arrested Development was a fucking funny show. That shit was funny. Trailer Park Boys. It's a fucking funny show. It's funny. Friends. That was the beginning of the end of network television as we knew it. So now it's just garbage. Fucking garbage. Yeah, Bob Dylan trying to call himself Elston Gunn. Fucking. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. While he was still in the Spencer Davis group, Steve Winwood joined Eric Clapton's group, Eric Clapton and the Powerhouse. Did you even know that existed? Right? I think that was back in like 66 or something, probably. I don't know. But that dude, Steve Winwood, man, fucking talent oozed out of that guy. Still does. But no one ever gives him any, like, he doesn't get put in any categories like best of, the best. He should be. So, brings me to this story. So myself, my friend Jim Hurley, and my friend Phil Kelly, who you hear us, me and Jack reference him quite a few times. So we get tickets. It's back in November 1986. November 19th, we got tickets to see Steve Winwood. And we're from Boston. We get tickets to see Steve Winwood at the Providence Civic Center. So, okay. We drive from Boston to Providence, Rhode Island. Well, not that far. So, mind you, it's November. It was a cold November, though, right? Remember that. We have great seats. We have floor seats. So this story goes in a couple different directions. So he starts off the show with Low Spark for High Heel Boys. I mean, fucking right there, you know this is going to be a great night, right? Starts the show off with that song. So let's see. I got the set list right here. So the set list was Low Spark for High Heel Boys, Glad, Take It As It Comes, Help Me Angel, Freedom Overspill, Slow Down Sundown, Wake Me Up on Judgment Day, Ark of the Diver, My Love's Leaving, The Finer Things, Valerie, those were the Split Decision, While You See a Chance, right? So he saved all his newer hits for the end. I'm a Man, you pumped that one out. Higher Love, right? Back in the High Life Again, and Give Me Some Lovin'. So I think it was probably, I don't know, the fourth song. We get up. We're going to go get some beers. We go get some beers. So we're coming back. We're on the floor. So we're coming back through the entrance onto the floor. And we're standing there for a minute. We meet these girls. Okay. So somehow we get separated. And now, mind you, this is back in 86, so my memory's it'll be a little foggy here. So we get separated, and I'm with this girl, and somehow we end up in the lounge upstairs at the Providence Civic Center. I didn't even know it had a lounge, right? And then somehow we end up in some VIP section with, it's like these nice, like a little stadium seating, like a room with some stadium seating with the glass. And they got the speakers pumping in the music. And it's just nice and comfortable in there. It gets a little more comfortable. And I'm going to end that part of the story right there. We're just going to leave that part out. Okay. So, fast forward. So, I think I missed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I missed 9 of the songs, right? So it's time to go find the friends. She's got to find hers. I got to find mine. So somehow I guess I go back to the seats. Now the show's almost over. And it's time to leave. So the show ends. And so as we're leaving, one of my friends, Jimmy Hurley, sees these girls from Winthrop, where we're from. But they're a little younger. And he had this nice jean jacket. Like, that was the shit back then, right? Leather jackets, jean jackets. So he, somehow, he lends it to this girl that's from the town we live in. Lends it to her for a second, and then turns his back, and she's gone. She stole his jacket. But that's not the end of it. It's actually just the beginning of it. See, the problem with that was Jim was driving. Jim's car keys were in that jacket. Right? So we're in fucking Providence, Rhode Island. It's November. Fucking cold. So we know who she was. She was the daughter of the principal of the high school. This is probably like I got to think this was like a Thursday night or something, right? So back then there was payphones, and you could literally call 411 to get a number, right? So Jim gets 411, and he wants the phone number to this principal's house because he wants to find, which I didn't know why he was doing that because it wouldn't have done us any good. But anyways, because if she left, she's still on her way home. She's not going to be able to turn around, those cell phones. I guess he gets into a conversation with this guy, and you know, we're not half in the bag. We're fucking in the bag. We're in the bag, right? So Jim hangs up. Now we're like, what are we going to do? The fuck we don't have a ride home. There was no Uber back then. Ah, fuck. Well, maybe we can go to a hotel. Maybe we'll just we'll kill it here tonight and we'll figure it out in the morning. Because now it's like 11:30. It's like 11:30 at night. There's like one hotel in downtown Providence. Which, by the way, if you've never been there, it was not exactly downtown Beverly Hills or downtown Boca Raton, for that matter. So we go in the hotel. Nah, they're not giving us a room. We're full. They said we're full. Fuck. Now it's like midnight. All right. Well, we only have one option. We have one option. We're going to hitchhike back to Boston. At midnight on a Thursday night, three of us with two jackets, right? So, I don't know. The story gets a little, one guy says, I wouldn't give my jacket up, and I made those two switch, Phil and Jim had to keep switching jackets because I was a big hell no. No one's, this is my jacket. My jacket didn't get stolen, asshole. Probably that's the true story. So now we're standing on the side of 95 because we had to walk to the highway. Now it's, I don't know, we're there for easy hour, easy. So it's like 1 a.m. now, Thursday night, fucking November. It's freezing. And we're thumbing, three of us. Now, it's hard enough to get picked up when you're alone. Back then, hitchhiking was a thing. It was acceptable. It was a little dangerous. I got some stories. I think everyone has a hitchhiker story from my generation. A little dangerous, but there's three of us, and we're pretty tough guys. We're pretty tough kids. I think we were probably in our early 20s then. So we're on 1:30. Fucking a van stops, right? It's like it's like one of those smaller like Chevy vans, right? And so we open the side door and we jump in and we're freezing. It didn't matter. Like, we're just in. Now we're in. There's heat in there. And I think Phil sat in the front seat. Or Jim sat in the front seat. Me and Phil sat on like whatever there was. There was crates or a toolbox or something. So we start looking, like you start getting your night vision in there. And it's literally a fucking TV repairman truck, right? It's like fucking tools, you pull the little shelf out of the drawer. It's got screws and widgets and Cabalistas and Hannah Franz. There's all sorts of shit in there. And the dude says, hey, man, where you guys going? Oh, shit, okay. Well, we're going to Boston. We're going to Boston. You can take us as far as you can. You know, we'd appreciate it. I'll take you all the way there. Fucking touchdown. Touchdown, right? Okay. Do you know how to get there, right? We want to get to like aquarium, the New England aquarium. Oh, yeah, I know how to get there, yeah. So at one point, and I think the dude, he broke out a joint or something. I wasn't a weed smoker, but he was a pretty cool dude. Then at one point, he wants to stop at a store 24. So we stop. He gets out. He's going to go in there and whatever he's getting. And there's something up there. He was tweaking. I'm pretty sure he was tweaking too, right? So while the dude's in there, and now this is another part of the story that can be, I don't know, it goes one way or another. Depends on who you talk to. But at that point, I believe Jim tried to steal the van. I believe, if memory serves me, he was interested in taking the van, right? He was rummaging. He was under the dash. He was doing something. I don't know. Like I said, depends on who you ask, who tells the story. That's what I saw. And we have to tell him, don't do it. We got to ride. Why do you want to do this? Dude comes out. Jim pops back up, sits there. So now we're driving. I said, do you know how to get to aquarium? He goes, yeah. Now, this is when I realized this dude was tweaking. Because he took us, not the direct route. If you're from Boston, you know when you're going on 95 north, there's a direct route. You can get off, get relatively close to aquarium. This dude takes us through Roxbury. Takes us through Roxbury. Now, for those that are not familiar with Roxbury, let's just say nothing good happens after 7 p.m. in not midnight, not 1 o'clock. Nothing, you know what? Nothing good happened any time of the day over there. Yeah, it's just the way it was. The projects just wasn't, and especially now it's 2:15, 2:30 in the morning, whatever it is. And the reason this dude knew how to get there is because that's where you'd go and buy his shit, evidently, right? So finally, I'm like, do you know where you are, dude? Oh, yeah. Now get us the fuck out of here. Get us out of here. This is how you do it. Don't stop at a red light. See a red light, don't stop. Just keep going. Just blow through it. It's 2:30, no one cares. Let's get us out of here. So finally, he gets us to our destination. And then, just like that, he's gone. He's going to drive back to Providence now at 2:33 in the morning. Like, the dude was a godsend that was tweaking. But he was still a godsend. And then we took a taxi home. It's a very anticlimactic story. But that was one long night. And I went to my house. Phil went to his house. Jim went to his house. But Jim had to deal with getting his car keys and then going back to Providence to get his car. Served him right. I wasn't going with him. Fuck that. No, no, buddy. So that's the Steve Winwood story. Something I never wanted to repeat again. Not the story, the whole incident. All right, let's move on. Thank you for listening, by the way. Thank you for listening. All right, let's move on to this day in music. Let's get this over with. This is Jack's favorite. This is where Jack would pick up his guitar and start strumming. And, oh, and this day, and then start mocking me and Just being a jerk. All right, on this day in music, on this day in 1960, after completing his national service, he served his time in the military, and flying back to America, Elvis Presley stepped on British soil for the first and only time in his life when the plane carrying him stopped for refueling at Prestwick Airport in Scotland. I find that amazing that he never toured Europe. Like, you would think that he went everywhere, but I don't know how much he ventured outside the United States. I don't know, right? Makes you think. If that's the only time he ever stepped on, British soil, I would think. Anyways, on this day in 1963, the Four Seasons. Who doesn't like the Four Seasons, right? Who doesn't like them? They're good. They're harmless. They're good, right? I just watched the whole series. I finished. For those who don't know, I'm retired, so I have plenty of time. And I made part of my daily routine watching The Sopranos. I watched it from the beginning to the end. And you started noticing around season 4 and 5 that celebrities wanted to have, cameos in The Sopranos. And you look back now and you're like, fucking cheesy. But Frankie Valli played a gangster. He got whacked. But, yeah, they had all sorts of people wanting to be in that show. And for the record, at the end of the show, how it ends, the last episode, I watched it. I watched the ending twice from the restaurant with the beginning. Tony doesn't get whacked. Doesn't get killed. Everyone's like, the guy from the counter walked by him and went into the bathroom. There's no saying that he got whacked. Meadow comes through the door. You hear the bell ringing. He looks up to see his daughter, and then it just goes to black, which was fucking one of the worst endings in the history of David Chase. And you started seeing all his virtue signaling in season 6. It really started coming out. And this was, now we're talking 20-something years ago. So he was he was at the beginning of that ball rolling. But he didn't get whacked. But what it did leave you with is he was going to get indicted for a gun charge. Anyways, the Four Seasons became the first group to have 3 consecutive number ones in the U.S. when Walk Like a Man started a 3-week run at the top of the charts. It hit number 12 in the UK charts. On this day in 1964, the Beatles began filming what would become their first feature film, A Hard Day's Night. That's a funny movie. At Marylebone Station in London. I think that, that was probably the beginning of music videos, if you think about it. That was probably the beginning of music videos because the movie was pretty much one big music video. On this day in 1974, Stevie Wonder won 4 awards at the Grammys. Album of the Year for Inner Visions, Best R&B Song and Best Vocal for Superstition, and Pop Vocal Performance for You Are the Sunshine of My Life. Now, I'll tell you what, I've been saying this for a long time now. Stevie Wonder is the most talented entertainer in music history. The most talented, not the greatest, not the whatever. The dude is talented. He could dance, he could sing, he played piano, he played harmonica, he wrote music. I mean, the dude, he produced, he did it all. Just a pure talent. Prince is like, if Stevie Wonder is 1, Prince is 1A. And I'll argue that to the day Prince died. I mean, I'm sorry. Bad taste. But Stevie Wonder, the most talented person in music. No doubt about it. On this day in 1974, Terry Jacks started a three-week run at number one on the U.S. singles chart with Seasons in the Sun. That's got to be in the top 10 most fucking depressing songs ever. Jesus Christ. And we loved it. I got the 45. Did you get Terry Jacks 45? Seasons in the Sun? Yeah, I got it. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I play it. I love it. It's on the radio 5 times an hour. Fucking no wonder we had issues growing up. That song, this is how this song was made. It was written in French by a Belgian, Jacques Brel. It had English lyrics by Rod McEwen. Fuck. Slit my fucking wrists. Take me to a Jethro Tull concert. Fucking just kill me. Make me watch Friends. Anyways. On this day in 1975, a policeman who stopped a Lincoln Continental for running a red light in Los Angeles was surprised to find Paul McCartney at the wheel with his wife Linda in the front seat. The officer detected a smell of marijuana, and on searching the car, found 8 ounces of weed. Linda was arrested for the offense. Yeah, there you go. That's a good woman right there. That's a fucking good woman. She'll take the heat for you. She's riding dirty. Linda McCartney was riding dirty. Back in the day. She's an OG. Oh, was. That's a good woman. I'll take the hit. I'll take the drug charge for you because I love you. Yeah. Fucking. That's a good woman. Need to be more women like Linda McCartney out there. Drink some water. Yeah, good girl, good girl. On this day in 1985, the Smiths, one of my favorite groups, were at number one on the UK indie charts with How Soon Is Now, an iconic 80s song. Iconic song all around. On this day in 1996, Oasis scored their second UK number one when Don't Look Back in Anger went to number one from the band's What's the Story Morning Glory album. It was the first Oasis single to feature Noel Gallagher on lead vocals instead of his brother Liam. Yeah. And they will never get back together, no matter what Jack says. Yeah, I got a big money on that one. If I lose, I'm screwed. For those of you that might have missed it, I told Jack, if Oasis gets together and it's only in Europe, I got to buy the fucking tickets. Because they're not getting back together. It's just not happening. And What's the Story Morning Glory is a great album. That's a great album. If you ever want to listen to it, do yourself a favor. It's a great album. On this day in 1999, Dusty Springfield, who I mentioned earlier in the show, liked to smash Cheap China to cure her frustration. Well, Dusty Springfield died after a long battle against cancer at age 59. Fucking cancer. She had her first UK hit single in 1963 with I Only Want to Be With You, which reached number 4. The 1966 UK number 1 and US number 4 single with You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, plus over 15 other UK top 40 singles. Well, before she passed, she did a song with the Pet Shop Boys, one of my favorite groups. I don't care what you say. They're good. And that kind of gave her a little resurgence And she kind of went out with a bang. So they brought her out of they brought her out, dusted her off, and she killed it. Anyways, on this day in 2003, Norah Jones, she, a little hottie. I'm just going to say it. She was a hottie. Started a 4-week run at #1 on the UK album chart with her debut album, Come Away With Me. The album spent over a year on the chart and was also a US #1. And if you don't have that album, that's a phenomenal album. I mean, I think she won like 8 or 9 Grammys for that album. Oh, Jesus. For all you people that have kids getting ready to go to college, thank God they're not in fucking Liverpool. I'm about to tell you why. Oh, on this day in 2009, Liverpool University launched a master's degree on the Beatles. Let me finish that. A master's degree on the Beatles, popular music, and society. Oh, my God. Liverpool Hope University claimed the course, which looked at the studio sound and compositions of the Beatles, was the first of its kind in the UK. And you know what? It can fucking stay in the UK. Imagine, hey, what'd your son, what'd your daughter, what'd she get her master's degree in? The Beatles. The Beatles. How much did that cost you? $65,000. Yeah, $65,000. But she knows a lot about the Beatles. Good for her. Right? Listen, I got a degree in canine science. Okay? Canine science. I fucking know more about dogs than a dog. Right? But you know what? I found my niche. And I ended up being pretty successful. The military, U.S. Customs. No one thought I would do anything with that degree. What are you going to do with a canine science degree? I didn't have an answer. I really didn't have an answer. So I went in the military. But a Beatles degree? That's even worse. That's worse. The Beatles. Fucking A Day in the Life comes on the radio. And your daughter just starts, well, let me tell you about this. Oh, fuck no. And then that shit would be erased from my car. There'd be no sign of Beatles things anywhere. I don't want to know what you learned. I fucking paid for it. We're good. We're good. Jeez. Fucking master's degree on the Beatles, popular music and society. Again, Jethro Tull concert. Fucking Friends. Throw that in there now. Hey, listen, I like the Beatles and all. And I love music, and I love music history, and I love the Did You Knows, and I love... everything's got a fucking limit. A man's got to know his limitations. Master's degree. Someone paid for that shit. Fucking the parents must have been so proud. Anyways, let's go to Born on This Day, and then I'll be done. Born on this day in 1942, the late, great Lou Reed. From the Velvet, Lou Reed from the Velvet Underground, right? After he left the band in 1970, released 20 solo studio albums. His second, Transformer, in 1972, was produced by David Bowie and arranged by Bowie's guitarist, Mick Ronson. It brought mainstream recognition to Reed. In 1973, This is probably his biggest hit, and it's a class. It was an instant classic. Walk on the Wild Side. And yeah, he died from liver disease on October 27th, 2013. He was 71. Born on this day in 1950, American singer and drummer Karen Carpenter, who with the Carpenters had the 1973 UK number 2 single, Yesterday Once More, plus 3 US number 1s, including the 1975 US number 1 single, Please Mr. Postman. Then we go on with that. The Carpenters' albums and single sales total more than 90 million, making them one of the best-selling music artists of all time. She unfortunately died on February 4th, 1983 of anorexia nervosa. What people don't know about Karen Carpenter, and you can find this on YouTube, she was actually considered one of the great drummers in music. That girl she could play the sticks. Do yourself a favor. When you're not doing anything, go on YouTube and type in Karen Carpenter drums. She could throw the sticks, man. You know, she was all cutesy and nice, but when she got behind those skins, she was all business. Yeah. Born on this day in 1962, Bon Jovi. Who gives a shit? Hey, another one. Throw him on my list. Put him on my list. Santana, Jethro Tull, Green Day, Styx, fucking Styx. Bon Jovi. No, I'm forgetting a few. Fucking Bon Jovi. Ugh. I don't know what people saw in that. Okay, he had a couple of good songs, but that, like I said, Jethro Tull had 2 good songs. Doesn't make me like them. Yeah. And born on this day in 1977, Chris Martin, songwriter, pianist, guitarist, and lead vocalist of Coldplay, who haven't done shit in 15 years or so. I don't know. Anyways, that's the show. Yeah, that's the show. Look at that. I did an hour and 25 without Jack. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I mean, I like having Jack, but, you know, I could do it without him. I think I could do it. Not that I want to. I love Jack. Jack's a great friend, and has a wealth of information about music. Other than that, he's okay. But anyways, listen. Thanks for listening. For the live streamers, thanks for watching. For both platforms, you are the engine that drives this machine. Without you, I would be talking to myself, even when I'm with Jack. And to quote my favorite artist, Morrissey, doing this show for you, well, the pleasure, the privilege is mine. I'll see you next week. You'll hear me next week with Jack, hopefully. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. And we're out. I'm out. Jack's already been out.